Sprinkle, and for the February Video Kit Club, we are going to be making this beautiful thank you card using one of the mini action wobbles, which are super fun. Boop, boop, boop. Very exciting. Also a little three-dimensional wing component. And this is the Embossable Acetate, this window type of technique that we are going to be doing, as well as using our sticker paper. You're going to be receiving the awesome stamp set in your video kit club, enough materials to make 5 cards, all the paper included. Also this awesome thank you mini moments die by Tonic Studios. 2 of our brand new microfine glitters, the Caspia Sea and Gecko, which all of our designers are loving. And a lot of other fun tips and techniques are in store for you in just moments. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions about becoming a Video Kit Club member, feel free to ask below or contact us at Sparkle and Sprinkle. Thanks for watching. All right, here is a nice close-up of our thank you card using one of the Mini Wobbles, Embossable Acetate, and there's a couple of fun 3D elements and brand new microfine glitters. So to get started, I'm going to be using my platform. If you don't have a platform, you can use an acrylic block and still get a pretty good result. I like using the platform when you're using the Embossable Acetate because it's a slick material, and having the sturdiness of the platform really helps so I don't smear my ink. All right, so to get started, to make this frame for our beautiful hydrangea card, you are going to want to use, I'm going to use this chalk ink just so I can get a light stamp so I can use that as my tracing background. If you don't have like a white or a chalk ink, something that will show up on the black cardstock, you can go ahead and use, you can actually use a embossable ink. And I'm going to move these guys. This is a 4x4 piece of black cardstock. You can use your embossing ink, your clear mark, and then you can do a white embossing powder and use that to cut that out. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Remove this guy. And now I pretty much have my frame on where I'm going to cut it. So I'm just going to do old school cutting, where I'm just going to poke in the middle. And this is how I've always done it. I just do like a sad little circle, and that gives me enough room then to start cutting along my edges. Now with this, you're gonna wanna cut on the inside edge. Don't cut your border out. So use that border as your guide. So if you're a little bit more in, that's okay, because you want that to be a nice window. You don't wanna see the black stamping outline when you stamp on your acetate. So see how I've left all of that still on the black cardstock of my frame. So go ahead and finish cutting that out. Once you do that, you will have this with that chalked outline. And now I want to use the stamp again. So I am going to do a quick cleanup. So if you're going to make all 5 of your cards at the same time, so with all of our video kit clubs, you get enough materials to make your 5 cards. So you're going to want to head and go and stamp all of those 4x4 black cardstock out at the same time. So therefore, you don't have to keep going back and cleaning your beautiful, beautiful stamp set. Okay, now that this really fun cleaning part is done, I am going to take my embossable acetate, and I have actually trimmed them all in half. So you're gonna get, I believe, 2.5 sheets. So you're gonna trim those in half. So I have like the 4.5 by 5. And I'm gonna take my StazOn. This is a really old StazOn pad, and I have re-inked it several times, and it's starting to get a little sticky, so it's time for a new pad for me. But this is all I currently have, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. If you don't have a StazOn, it needs to be a permanent ink. So you need to make sure that this ink is nice and permanent, or actually it is embossable acetate. So you can stamp it with your clear mark, And then you can go ahead and emboss it with black embossing powder. Just make sure you use your static free. And we have some really old videos on that. But I went ahead and did the black StazOn. Like I said, my StazOn ink is super sticky, so that's why I really inked it up. All right, so I've got my Embossable Acetate sheet here, even though you can't see it. Now I'm going to take my really awesome platform tool, and I'm just going to give it a lot of pressure. If this were like a dye ink or something with a quick drop, and I can go back and back and back, but I'm just going to do this one time because I really inked up my stamp, and then I'm going to lift that up. So now I've got that great stamp out. Here, it'll help if we put some white cardstock behind it. So you can see that beautiful stamp out. And I am going to take this, trim a little edge, because I want to stamp one more butterfly so we can do that 3D butterfly effect. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to take this here, and I don't want to get my ink on my platform, so I'm just going to do a little trick by adding, and this is not cardstock, this is really thin printer paper, so therefore it doesn't lift up my stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and just ink my butterfly like that. Drop that down. Apply a good amount of pressure. Pop that up. And now I've got my butterfly. So you can get on each of your half sheets, you can get your stamp out as well as your butterfly. And that is all the stamping. I'm going to leave this in here so when I close that down, it doesn't ink up my platform. All right, so now that we have this stamped on our Embossable Acetate, if yours is pretty thick, you can actually use your heat gun too to dry your StazOn ink quicker. Mine's pretty dry, but that's a little trick on how to speed it up. Okay, so to do this wonderful technique, what I'm going to do is flip this over. So that's the stamped side, and this is going to be the side that I apply the glitter on. And in order to do that, I'm going to be using my Brushable Glue. In your video kit club, you're going to be receiving a sample size of the Brushable Glue, which will be more than enough to complete your project. So I'm going to start by, I'm using my water brush, and it doesn't have any water in it. I just really like this tip. And I am just going to go over my leaves, and I'm applying a pretty good amount. Now, Brushable Glue does dry quickly, so if you're going to take your time on this, I definitely recommend doing it in sections. So for instance, if that one leaf took you quite a bit of time to fill up with glue, then what I would do is give it a second. If that took you quite a bit of time to fill your leaf up with glue, I would do it in sections. So add your glitter, add your glue, then add your glitter, and go back and forth like that instead of doing it all the same time like I am now, because this glue does dry pretty quickly. So now I'm going to be using the Gecko and just sprinkle that on. Tap that off. Now, if you are in a really staticky environment, before you start all of this, you can take a little Swiffer duster and rub it over your acetate. So that is step one. And as you could see, I do have some holes where I missed with my glue. You have two choices here. You can go over it right now and add more glitter, or you could wait till this is all dry, brush it off, and then fill in your holes again. Either way is fine. So I am going to move on though, and we will fix all of our little boo-boos after it's dry. Okay, so next we are going to use the Caspia Sea, which is such a beautiful color, perfect for hydrangeas. It's got that purple and blue and green tones to it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this all in. My beautiful scribble brush stroke. And what I do is I kind of go along the outline, and then once I have the outline done, I kind of fill it all in on the inside. and then add my glitter. It's so nice because it's, you know, not a very detailed way to color your item, but the finishing product looks amazing. Like you really spent hours coloring your beautiful stamp set. So once you have that completed, I'm going to go ahead and take my Caspia Sea, fill that in just like that, and there you go. And then you could do this bottom one too. I'm going to just do a quick version. If you go outside of the lines around the border, none of that is going to be seen, so you don't really have to worry about that. If you go outside of the lines on your flower, you can use your little fingernail tool and push that back in. Okay, now you get the Caspia Sea and the Gecko in your video kit club. I thought it would be fun to add. All right, so I wanted to add a little bit of yellow or gold coloring to my butterfly. You don't have this included in your kit, but if you want to add it, it's our brand new Butterscotch, which is really pretty, and also the 24 karat gold. But if you've got another microfine glitter from Sparkle and Sprinkle, you could throw that on there too. So same concept, I'm going to take my Brushable Glue with my water brush. And like I said, I'm using my water brush because I really do like the tip. If you've got a nice thin paintbrush, you can use that as well. So I'm just going to go over my butterfly. I'm going to add my butterscotch. And don't forget, you actually have your butterfly wings that we're going to pop with 3D too. So I'm going to set that aside. And it's that second piece that we stamped on our acetate. So I went ahead and I cut out my butterfly wings. I cut out my butterfly wings as well as a little piece of the hydrangea flower so we have something to adhere it. Now make sure you are adding your glitter to the correct side. So we're going to fold this little piece over and the glitter is going to be adhered on the back side. So make sure you are checking out that stamp and making sure you're putting the glitter on the correct side. So when you put down your butterfly wing, the glitter is on the back side and you get the detail of the stamp on the front side. So I'm going to take my Brushable Glue and just go over my whole wing and add a little bit more butterscotch. Tap that off and let that dry. Now, while your glue is wet, this is going to take probably about an hour to dry. If you want to put a fan on in the room to get some air circulating. As you can see right now, my glue is wet. So see how white that is? You cannot see the glitter sparkle. It's a very white look because that white glue's in the background and nice and wet and not dry. So I am going to show you what it looks like. Nice and dry. So see how beautiful. You can see the sparkle from your glitter. And now we are ready to assemble. Now I've got some holes here, so you can go back if you like and really fill in the details, but I'm just going to leave it because I think not everything's perfect, right? So I am going to add this guy here. We've got our little frame. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a distressor. There's a lot of them out there. This is the Tim Holtz distressor. We have that available on sparkleandsprinkle.com. So this is our little 4x4 frame that we cut out. And to use your distressor, you're just going to really distress it. Just grind, 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 and go fast all over the corners. It adds for like a fun distressed look. And I like these ones. I like the little hand tools where you're really in control of how much you distress your paper. And you can really dig into some areas. You can crumble up your paper if you'd like. Because we already cut this frame out, it's pretty fragile. You can distress it first and then cut it out. But you know, I like to do things backwards and then talk about what I could have done while filming. That always makes it more exciting. All right, so now that I've got that done, I am going to insert this into my frame. So I'm going to use some 1/8" tape, and this is a great adhesive. You could use some of your wet glues. I didn't want to risk any of the wet glue like seeping under the edges of my frame. So this the Tearific Tape 1/8" worked out perfectly. If you don't have this size by now, it's a really great size, and you can add that to your cart. So I stuck those 4 edges on. I'm going to peel off the backing like so. I'm going to take my beautiful frame, my hydrangeas, and drop that in there. Just like that. And now I'm going to take my glitter resist brush and just kind of clean up. I mean, there's really not a spot in my office that doesn't have glitter on it, so trying to remove all of the glitter from this is kind of impossible, but that glitter resist brush did a really good job. It's nice and clean. And now I'm going to take this little piece of, it's just printer paper, very thin, and my square here is 4x4 like I mentioned, and this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So the reason I'm going to do that, I tried it a couple different ways and I think this works best, and it's because when you stick it on your sticker paper, the glitter doesn't stick down the same level as the flat acetate without the glitter on it. So this is kind of a little mask. You'll see what I'm talking about in the next step. So now I just have a little piece of printer paper on the back of my window. So now what we are going to do is take our sticker paper, and I trim this so it's about 1/4 inch shorter than my card base. And I'm going to peel the backing off, and I am going to set that down like so. And I'm going to take this guy here and just set it right about there. And then I'm going to add my gecko to the edges. Once that's nicely and adhered down, gecko to your exposed Tearific, not Tearific, to my sticker paper edges. Burnish that in with my finger tool. And you can trim your little photo frame shorter if you want more of the gecko edge exposed. So there's a lot of options. My first card I made, I definitely have more glitter exposed around the edges. This one's a little tighter, which is fine. I think they both look nice. Pop that off. Use your glitter resist brush. And voila. So now I'm going to take my gecko and get it out of here. Next we are going to do our thank you with our little mini wobbles. And what you are going to receive in your kit is the actual die, the thank you die, which is great. It's a really fun die. I've actually used it on several cards already. It's on a video, a couple videos from now, where I did a thank you card for a winter thank you card. So I went ahead and pre-cut out my thank you just on black cardstock. And then the circle is our Tearific Tape using the circle layering basic die set. So it's already going to be pre-cut for you in the kit, but if you want to add some circles to your cart, if that's not something you have in your collection yet, I used the 3rd one in. So this is die number 3 from the inside. So I am going to take the backing of my Tearific Tape off. I am now going to add my thank you, like so. Use my little fingernail tool to tap those down. I'm going to add my Hydrangea microfine glitter, not Hydrangea, silly Donna, Caspia Sea, and burnish that in with my finger tools. Tap that off. Take my glitter resist brush, wipe all that away. And this is one of the Tonic Studios die, part of their miniature, their Mini Moments collection, which we have quite a few on our website, so make sure you check those out. All right, once this guy is ready to go, I am going to take my wobble. I'm going to throw them at me. So I'm going to take one of my wobbles. These come in a 12-pack. You're going to be receiving 5 in your kit for all 5 of your cards. I'm going to peel off the 2 little backing. I place my 2 fingers in it, flip this guy over, and adhere it down. I go ahead and give it a little extra pressure with my fingernail tool. I'm going to take my card base and peel off the backing. I added some 1/2-inch Tearific tape to my sticker paper, short fingernails, and removing the backing of tape is so fun. And now I'm going to stick that on my card base like so, and add my wobble. Peel the backing off of the plastic base. Add my thank you wobble. And then the very last thing is taking that little butterfly wing that we cut out. I added a little bit of 1/8-inch Tearific tape to that extra little cutout piece. And I'm going to stick it right there on my button. And once you've attached your butterfly wing, you've got these beautiful, dimensional, and fun, very active parts of your thank you card. And the cool thing about wobbles is they travel flat, so you can stick that nice and flat in your envelope and send that to someone you want to say thank you to. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here is one of a shaker card sample using the same technique with from one of our amazing designers. Make sure in a couple weeks you pop back onto our YouTube channel and see all of our awesome new stamp sets and what our designers have done with this stamp, as well as all the new releases. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you comment below and have a fantastic February.